Vinny, the one thing I like to talk about with anyone, whether you're from Minneapolis, Florida, or California, is just kind of the journey that you get to, Fargo, North Dakota at times. Just take us through your journey when you were a high schooler in Minneapolis. Then you go to the JUCO route, and then from there you come here to NDSU. At what point did NDSU kind of become on your radar? And when did you hear from Dave Richmond and this coaching staff? And when did you finally, so to speak, put pen to paper, as they say, and come to Fargo?
I started to hear from Coach Richmond and Coach Jaden Olsen. I think it was my freshman summer going into my sophomore year. I had got invited to the JUCO All-American camps and the Mullins Top 100. And the first time I connected with Coach Richmond was that summer out in Wichita. He came and watched me play in the Top 100. He did, Coach Kyan Brown did, and Coach Jaden Olsen all came out and watched. And that was the first time I had ever talked and connected with them. And then fast forward a little bit, things had picked up towards the end of the summer, and I came here on my unofficial, and they offered. And so they offered me then, and I set up my official visit for, I think, I want to say it was a football weekend, so it was fall. I set up my official visit, and the moment I stepped on campus, I just had a feeling that this was the place for me.
Does this feel like you've been here longer than 2 years, Vinny, in just terms of the experiences, the friendships, and everything that you've made at North Dakota State?
Yes, it definitely feels like I've been here for all four. My team here is really similar to my team in junior college, so it's really relatable, and it's really weird how it all worked out. But it definitely feels like I've been here for longer than 2 years, and the guys accepted me right away, and they trusted me right away, and with whatever coach had for me, and our relationship just continued to grow from the first day that I got here until now. And the relationships that I have now are ones that I can definitely say that I'll have for a lifetime.
When you were playing down in the Twin Cities for your high school ball, how much did you hear of NDSU at that time in terms of what Saul Phillips and Oklahoma in that victory, in the NCAA tournament? How much were you kind of knew about NDSU, so to speak, just 4 hours down the road?
I'm not going to lie. I knew NDSU for one reason when I was in Minneapolis, and that was definitely for football. And so I didn't know much. And, I actually, they were in Minneapolis a couple times recruiting a couple of my teammates in high school to come to their school. So, that's as much as I knew about them. I just knew they were recruiting my teammates, and I never really done my research on their basketball programs or the success they've had here in every other program besides football.
Talking with Vinnie Shahid, Bison, senior guard. Now you get to finally get down to Sioux Falls. What's this time been like since Saturday on senior day to once you're finally going to get to play against Denver? Did you guys in a team just want to get back to a game all of a sudden back on Monday instead of having a week off after it was emotional with the South Dakota State Omaha Conference Championship in the regular season? But I'm guessing, Vinny, you probably want to get back on the court with this team and start balling again.
Yes, it's a very these weeks are always very long. Even last week was very long, and so it brings a lot of emotion. I think it will help us in a way that it will bring emotion to the floor for us on Saturday. But we're definitely ready to get out there and show what we got. That's the best word I can put it in. We're ready to go out there. We're ready to compete for 40 minutes, and the team who comes to compete the hardest will win that night.
You look at Denver, what stands out about the Pioneers playing them a third time? And there's an old adage of trying to beat a team 3 times in the season. What makes it difficult when you've been in high school and college playing a team for the third time, whether you've won or lost against them? What makes it difficult playing a team for that third stanza, so to speak?
The toughest part about playing a team a third time is that the scouting reports get higher. Everybody on the court knows everybody. We know everybody's tendencies, and we know what everybody wants to do. And so that third time, I think the possessions get a little shorter. The game slows down a little bit. There's less mistakes by both teams. And it just comes down to who's going to execute on both ends of the floor for 40 minutes. And I think that is sometimes where teams struggle to beat a team the third time, because the team that's been beat twice, they understand what they don't need to do to win. They understand what mistakes not to make. And I think that's what makes it so tough to beat a team 3 times.
Is it true that they get to this time of the year that it is a completely brand new season, Vinny, or how much can you take from the regular season or from your previous experience, specifically last year, which I know you guys been asked a lot about, last year what happened down in Sioux Falls? How much can you take away from that? Or is it, hey, you know what? Everyone's back to 0-0 and has an opportunity to win 3 games in, 3-4 days.
You take the experience and I think that's pretty much it. I think that when you're talking about what we've done, I think none of that really matters anymore. I think 0-0 is correct, and I think this is a brand new season for every team. I mean, as long as you make it down to Sioux Falls inside tournament, every team has a chance.
You look at Dave Richmond, your coach, a couple easier ones, so to speak, to end here with Vinnie. Is there a quote or is there something that he says on a day in or week out basis that you're going to remember and take with you, 5-10 years down the road?
I'll definitely remember how you do anything is how you do everything. That would definitely stand out for me, probably for as long as I'll be alive. That is one quote that he says almost every day.
You look at this team and the relationships that you formed. Just take us a little bit inside as much as you can the huddle or inside the locker room in terms of how loose are you guys? How much are you joshing around with each other, joking around? And how do you know when to flip the switch from, joking around to, okay, it's time to, it's business on the floor for 40 minutes, Vinnie? Yeah,
we understand. I think 1 through 14, 14 through 1, we do a really good job of understanding that as much fun as we're going to have is as good as we're going to play. The more fun we're having, the better we're usually playing. And so, we're all jokes and everybody loves everybody on the bench and in the locker room. But guys, the one thing that we all share in common is that we hate losing. I think everybody on this team hates losing more than they love winning. And so we kind of have this competitive edge about ourselves and that nobody wants to lose. And I think that goes with the coaching staff as well. I think everybody on our bench, on our coaching staff, and on our roster hates losing. And so I think that alone brings us together a little differently than a lot of teams have.
Last thing for you, Vinnie, just for your 4 seniors this year, what would a conference championship, not just for your seniors, but for this 2019-20 version of North Dakota State, what would an opportunity to play Tuesday night and try to go out again and cutting down some nets in the Summit League Tournament Championship down in Sioux Falls, what would it mean for this year's team?
It would mean a lot, and I think it would mean a lot for everybody to continue playing basketball in March. Nobody's ready to be done in March, and hopefully we can take care of our business and do what's needed to be done, and so that we can get another opportunity to play on Monday.
Cam, just kind of take us through, a couple years ago when you're in the state of Kansas and all of a sudden you maybe hear of a Dave Richmond, you hear of a North Dakota State, green and gold. Just take us through the journey from when you were a high schooler and why Fargo, North Dakota, and why this program at the time.
Right. So I can remember it was my junior year and I really didn't have any offers. And I remember after one of my AAU games, Coach Richmond actually came to, and it's funny because I always remember this story. I had a bandage over my head because I got cut over the eye diving for a loose ball. And as soon as after that game, he kind of talked to me. He's like, I think you'd be a perfect fit. He wanted to get me up to visit. And when I came up here, Corey Brown was a senior and he had 22, so he said I could get 22. The community was amazing. It just felt like they just let me in with open arms, and I was just attracted to everything about it. And after my visit, I got Dave on the phone and Coach Richmond, and I said, I'd love to be a part of this program if you would like me still. He said, I can't wait. And ever since then, it was history.
Flash forward now to your junior season. You're part of a team that obviously won the regular season conference title this year. A lot was made about last year's run in the Summit League Tournament and winning a game in the NCAA and, giving Duke all they could handle in the first half. Is there a lot of experiences this team can take from that time? Because I know Dave said, it was almost like I was coaching this team not to look forward to Sioux Falls again, that we still had 20 games. We still had a Summit League regular season. But now that you're here, Cam, how much of the experience from last year can you really take? Or is it's a brand new affair once you get to opening tip with Denver on Saturday?
Right. It's brand new. It's a new season. We just got to go in there, take care of business, play hard for all 40 every game, and I think good things will happen because we do have that experience like you mentioned, and hopefully we can use that in a positive way and continue to keep this thing rolling.
What's it like when you do get the opportunity to play with Vinnie? I know it seems like outside looking in, I understand why Dave probably doesn't want you and Vinnie to play all the time because very similar athletes, guys who can get to the rim, shoot, but when you do get those opportunities to play with Vinnie in the backcourt, does it kind of feel like you're playing with someone who mirrors your game a little bit and he mirrors yours?
Oh, absolutely. Me and Vinnie talk all the time. We love playing with each other because it kind of relieves a little bit of pressure sometimes that we have handling the ball. But it's really fun. We each know kind of each other's game, so we know when each other has a mismatch or if I can drive to the middle and kick it out to the other guy. I feel like have that kind of yin and yang connection. and it's really fun when you have a guy that knows your strengths out there on the court.
You get to this time of the year, what's it like playing in March Madness as a college athlete, specifically about the Summit League tournament and your takeaway last year in the NCAA? What are you going to remember about this 5, 10, 15 years from now, Cam?
Right. It's a dream come true. Even the Summit League tournament, when I was a little kid, I was like, man, if I can just, 1, win a conference tournament, 2, win a conference tournament, and then go to the NCAA tournament, that'd be a dream come true. And we accomplished that last year, and we're just hungry again for more this year, and just everything ahead of us right now.
To win a regular season conference title, especially with a very emotional week with a rival in South Dakota State senior day where you honor 4 guys on Saturday afternoon, and I know going back to Dave, he said, you know what, we got to feed off that emotion. When you hear that from a coach to say, let's feed off that emotion, what do you guys take away from that as student athletes and players on the court?
Right. Especially our team, we're very emotional, and we try to use that emotion in a good way on the court, to play harder, to go after the loose ball, to do the little things. And when we can do that and play with our emotion and don't play emotional, we're a pretty good team.
Look at Denver. I know if you look at the record, it's one thing, but you get them on the court for 40 minutes, it might be another. Biggest thing that stands out about the Pioneers that you'll play them for the 3rd time on Saturday will be what to opening tip camp?
Right. They have 2 great guards in a day, and Townsend. If we can just contain them, and it's really not even about them, it's about us. If we can play hard for 40 minutes, do the little things, and even though it's a 1 versus 8, we can't take anybody for granted. It's a whole new season now. What's
the one thing that you'll take away and you'll tell people to make the Summit League tournament? You kind of alluded to, just playing down in Sioux Falls. What's that arena like when you get 11, 12,000 fans down in there in terms of the environment?
Oh, when you walk in and see all those fans in there, it's just like, it's kind of a little eye-opening. You kind of got to calm the nerves down. And once you do that, it's just an experience I'll never forget.
Final thing for you, I'm sure every coach has a saying, whether it's an assistant coach or possibly a senior when you're a freshman coming into the program. Is there a specific thing from Dave in terms of a quote that you'll take away that he always says that you'll take away from this program years to come?
I would say a quote that he says a lot: it's amazing what can be accomplished when no one gets the credit. And when we go out, share the ball, just hoop how we know how to hoop, we're a really dangerous team.
Hey, Cam, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck down in Sioux Falls.
Thank you very much.